The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of WBGR Network.
Welcome to Let's
My
Talk
job
Money
as the
with
Queen of
KC.
210.
I'm Karen C. Baker, your host for today. KC Baker from KC Baker and Associates, and we have an amazing show for you today. I tell you, I have a great guest that's coming on. We're going to talk about her a little bit later, but she is the real estate extraordinaire, and we call her the Queen of 210, Chamaye Smith. So prior to me actually introducing this amazing real estate guru, I want to talk to you a little bit about what this show is about. The show is going to be informational in nature about money. Anything dealing with something to help you grow your money, whether it is your accounts, whether it is life insurance, whether it is retirement. It's all about educating yourself. It's all about getting the information so that you know where to go, who to talk to. It's kind of ironic, though, because September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. What that basically means is we really need to look at our life insurance. We need to pull it out, dust it off, make sure that it is the right type. Meaning, I know you didn't know that life insurance actually is designed for you to actually use it while you're alive. That was the history of life insurance. And somehow it turned into this death benefit. Yes, it does have this death benefit piece to it, but it allows you to have access to money when you need it, when the unknowns happen. And the unknowns happen, you know, we don't know. We're healthy today. Something can happen tomorrow where we actually need help. So little tidbits that I want to kind of give you are, when you're looking at your life insurance, go check it and make sure you have what is called a living benefit. A living benefit meaning that if something happens, you become ill, you have a terminal illness, you have a critical illness, you have a chronic illness, that you'll be able to actually access your money while you're alive. Okay, so that's real important. You know, we upgrade everything. We upgrade our cell phones, we upgrade our automobile insurance, we upgrade the insurances on our home, but when it comes down to protecting our most important assets, your life, your property, we tend not to actually look at it and go over it and make sure that there is something better for you. So just beginning to make sure that we're looking at our insurance for not just for death, but it's there to access, accelerate your death benefit so that you need it the times when are critical. Okay, so that is one tidbit. Another tidbit is also when you're dealing with wealth building and you're dealing with money, make sure, guys, that you're talking to an advisor, a financial advisor. You want to talk to someone who is that's not biased. You want to talk to someone who is a broker. You want to talk with someone who has access to multiple plans. That way, when they're looking at you and your financial needs, they can help you diversify it. That's real important, making sure that you have that diversification within your plan so that you know the strategy that you have from now, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, all the way through to retirement. There's a plan, and this person is there to help you. Now, with KC Baker and Associates, you have a team. We have agents all across the country. So it's not just local, we're national. making sure that you understand that being educated is where you need to be, having that financial literacy so that when you know better, you do better. So going back to our guest for today, I met her, really, it hasn't been long, maybe within this last week, and we sat down and we chatted about her dreams, what she's doing, how she ended up in the real estate industry. She has a great background. I want her to actually be able to explain that to you. She's local. She definitely has partners all across the country that will be able to help you, and I thought it was really fitting to have her come on and go over the process of first-time home buying, because that's the American dream. Everyone wants to come over here and purchase their home. Everyone wants to come here, the land of the free, the land of the opportunity to be able to actually own your own home. Now, I can remember 20 some odd years, 30, a little bit longer than that, when I actually built my first home when I was 20. And the process, I'm quite sure, is a lot different now. And so when you have that person that you can go to and they're an expert in their field and they can hold your hand and walk you through that process, that's something that is really, really priceless. So what I'd like to do right about now is I'd love to play her commercial. And then when her commercial is done, we can actually have her here. We can actually have a dialogue and have questions and have her go through the process. So it's okay, guys, for you to actually put her commercial on right now. And we'll be back in a few minutes.
My job as the Queen of 210 is to establish the lay of the land and to help the client find their new throne. I have established my kingdom, including my office and home, here at the National Harbor. 210 is strategically structured for ways to D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, just minutes from local dining and shopping. There's plenty of space for business, agriculture, waterfront living, and large acre lots. If you would like to establish your home here within this area, this is my domain and my proven 4-step plan to sell your home or to negotiate an offer for your purchase.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Money with KC. We have our guest today, Miss Chamaye Smith.
Yes.
And how are you doing today?
I'm fine, and you, Casey?
I am wonderful. I thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
You know, we have to share this information with our viewers to get them to know what the process is of home buying. But before we actually get into that process, we want to know just a little bit about you. Yeah, so tell me, who is Chamaye? How did all of this come about? How did you end up in this industry? Are you a mom? You know, what? So just kind of enlighten us. Tell us about your background.
So I'm your everyday community lady.
Okay.
And I was born in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
I'm dad, D.C. police officer, mother, environmental protection specialist. And in the 70s, we moved to Prince George's County.
Okay.
And we were right over in what was then called Bradbury Heights. Mm-hmm. But it used to be a part of Capitol Hill. Well, while I was growing up, I used to draw all of these houses and everything and tell my mother how I was going to build this house for her.
Oh, my goodness.
And I always had an interest in real estate, but I was afraid of it because it was a commission-only job. So my life started out as a nurse at George Washington and GW Hospital.
Wow, okay.
In the emergency room.
Okay.
And from there, I went on to work for Boeing in their emergency team and national, what is it? I'm getting tongue-tied here. Legislative affairs.
Okay.
And I was with Boeing for 13 years. And then I was a part of the layoffs that took place when we had the dams break in New Orleans and Hurricane Katrina. Those back-to-back things caused the hubs to take in, downsize and merge.
Okay.
And I was a part of that layoff.
Okay.
And I then went to work for another company here, a major banking institution, for about 4 years.
Okay.
And my son started having some health challenges, and those things caused me to have to be off work a lot.
Okay.
And because of that, sometimes the normal 9 to 5 does not understand the family structure.
Most definitely.
And I felt as if they would take, and my son would need me, they would fire me, or something would happen to me.
Okay.
And I would then be replaced, and my son would still need me.
Okay.
And so I decided they were not my source. And I went back into my first love, which was real estate.
Okay.
And I started out as Dorsey Investments.
Okay.
My niece and I started an investment company to buy and flip homes. And then I decided, why not be able to make this full circle and get my license?
Okay.
And I attended my classes, graduated, and here we are.
Wow. Okay. So now you're licensed in Maryland.
I am licensed in Maryland currently,
Okay.
and anticipating DC really soon.
Okay.
However, I have agents throughout the area, outside of DC, Maryland, and Virginia as well, that can help with both rentals and to purchase homes as well.
Wonderful. So our viewers nationally will be able to still contact you
Absolutely.
if they have any questions or they need to be helped in other areas outside.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Okay. So now your nickname is the Queen of 210.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So tell me about the Queen of 210, and that's because.
Well, I decided to establish my kingdom along 210.
Okay.
I live in the area, and I have my office situated at the National Harbor.
Okay.
And because of that, and I'm always traveling that road, a lot of times people are scared to travel 210.
Yes.
And it's
that
been named
traffic.
and deemed the deadliest highway,
yes,
But
it
I'm from
has.
the area.
Okay.
And I can remember Pennsylvania Avenue being deadly when I was growing up. They would race cars and motorcycles. I can remember Branch Avenue being the same. So we have to be aware of what we're doing in our community.
Most definitely.
And so I branded myself the Queen of 210 because I'm hardly really on 210.
Okay.
But I know the back roads.
Right.
And I don't think that it's the deadliest highway.
Okay,
I think that we have to drive careful. But because I am there, and that is what my community, I have branded myself to assist people that are interested in housing in the southern Prince George's County region, all the way into Charles County.
Okay.
I am open to other areas, but this is where I live and work.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, so now owning a home is the dream of being an American, and you know we have people coming from all over the country trying to come to America so that they can be a home buyer, and it's the land of the opportunity, the land of the free.
Yeah.
So I thought that this was really fitting for the first show, talking about money, assets, growing assets, and wealth being, building wealth within your family. It's all about making sure that we leave a legacy, not bills.
Exactly.
And owning real estate is a great way to do that. So tell me about this first time home buying process. Where does it start?
So this is, first let me let people know, do not be afraid to buy a home. I meet so many people that think that they will never ever own a home. They think that they always will be on some type of housing program or things like that. But there are programs out there. So you can stop paying someone else's mortgage and build your own portfolio and have your own home where you can build and you can do the same thing. You can become a landlord if you'd like.
That's right.
But the first process is changing your mindset. And among home ownership, we are still in the lowest ranking to be homeowners in this country. Not just here, but in this country. And we're the biggest platform of people that are still losing our homes. So not only when we get the home, we got to get in the home and be able to keep the home and pay the mortgage. And things happen, life happens.
Right.
But I know that you can help them with that.
Most definitely. It's always, you know, that whole educational piece. So it's a process.
There is.
It's a process to get in there. It's a process to hold on to it.
Yes.
You know, it's about budgeting and making sure you're utilizing credit correctly.
Correct.
And making sure that you keep your credit at a certain place.
Yes.
You know, not living beyond your means.
Correct.
You know, so there's a lot that goes into that.
Yes.
So, okay, so now, you know, someone wants to stop paying rent. Normally, depending, I know with me, when I built my first home, my rent was $1,500. and my mortgage was $700. So normally when you're doing that, you're saving money anyway.
You are.
And now you have a write-off, you have a tax shelter. So what do they need to do next? Once they have that mindset shift and now
they need to contact me.
Okay, then they contact you.
They need to contact me and let's sit down and do a free consultation.
Okay.
Let's talk about what their desire is.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
let's start building a roadmap
Okay.
to what we are going to do next. So
Okay.
they're not blindsided.
Okay, so now you sent me a roadmap.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, so what's the first process?
First process, after they get in touch with me, we're going to start a home buying program. We're going to put them in a home buying program.
Okay.
Everybody doesn't need to go into one, but I think that it's a good thing to do.
Okay.
And in this area, we have two really known programs. We got the Hope Buyer program, and
Okay.
you also have NACA.
Okay.
Both of these programs are designed to help low to moderate income families get into homes that they can afford.
Okay.
And so you can do a fast track, or you can do a program that takes a little bit longer for someone who cannot commit an 8-hour weekend to getting this done. You can do it as a couple, or you can do it as single. So you don't have to be worried about that. These classes are done at the facility.
Okay.
And it does require you to be in attendance. They'll help you with questions and answers about credit, bank accounts, and things like that. But once they go through the home buying process, now we start the pre-qualification.
Okay.
And the pre-qualification will include things such as, getting all of your tax documents together, getting your bank statements together, and pay stubs.
Right.
These things are essential because it helps them understand where your finances are, how much you qualify for, how much house we can shop for.
Okay.
A lot of times people, they just go out and they click and they want to go see a house and they think, we can't just go see the house. No, we need to see how much we can shop for first. So all that's done in the pre-qualification.
Okay, so in that pre-qualification step, talk more about when you qualify them for a certain amount of house. That is at the end of, meaning the max, but a lot of times they don't have to do the max, correct? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So when we sit down for that pre-qualification and meet and greet between myself and the client, we're going to sit down and discuss what's an ideal house note for you. What do you not, set some real expectation to you.
A budget.
A budget, correct. A lot of times people say, I don't want my house note to go over $900.
Right.
Okay. Let's talk about those things we get in the mail that says your mortgage could be this.
Right.
Your mortgage could definitely be $900, but we have to include taxes and insurance and things like that.
Most definitely.
I always suggest that people keep those taxes and insurance included in there. It's already budgeted in there for you, so you don't have to worry about them coming to take your house because you failed to pay your taxes. Just because you wanted a low house note.
Bundle it. Have it all in there.
Have it all in
you're
at
paying
once.
it all at once. Most definitely.
So, when we sit down and we budget that and you tell me what you're looking to spend, I don't take you to see the max unless you want to see the max. I'll take you to see whatever you'd like to see.
Okay.
But I want you to be realistic.
And
I want to see you stay in your home and be comfortable and be able to eat while you're there.
Most definitely.
So in that process, we sit down and we talk about that. We build out the likes and dislikes, the things that will make this home for you.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right, so now after the pre-qualification, it says begin your top and bottom list.
That's right. That's where we build out the criteria.
Okay.
How many bedrooms, bathrooms, things that are essential in your home that's going to make you comfortable, things that you would desire in your home.
Okay.
And once we build that list, then I will take and send them automatic populated information through the MLS system, where they can get daily updates. They can let me know how often they want them, and as soon as it hits the market, or if I see something that's coming soon, we can get a jump on it and maybe schedule something to go and see those homes.
Definitely. You want to be in front of it.
Right, and we don't want to be all over the place, so we want to build this criteria so that it is structured. So when we go out with a purpose, and we're going out to buy a home.
Okay. All right, so that's when the search begins.
That's when the search begins.
Okay, so now you found this home. It's amazing. You love it. It fits the budget. It's not over the top. You're not living with that, you're not living outside of your means, because a lot of us do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I did it. I did it.
I'm going to say a lot of us.
I had an $872,000 house, right? My house note was $5,400 a month. $5,400 a month. Loved the house, but I had all the things that I wanted in there.
Okay.
And this is during the housing market crash.
Okay.
So I had that house and I had other houses as well. But I had to let it all go.
I'm just saying, we want to make sure that when you purchase a home, I remember my mom used to always say, you get that home, if it's two of you, make sure one of you can pay for it.
Yes.
You know, so you don't want to, just throw all of your money into it, and if something happens and one person gets sick or loses their job, then you're scrimping, trying to figure out how you're going to pay. So, got to be realistic. Live within your means.
Mm-hmm. I was a landlord, though. Okay. So I had another property as well, and when the people in my property were not able to keep up, then what that meant for me was that I had to pay it.
Right.
And I budgeted for it a little bit. However, when it went past that 3-month period, now it's dipping into my finances.
Okay. So
and things change. So we have to decide whether we want to be landlords or
not. But in that instance, seriously, we still have to, talking about money, make sure that we have that emergency fund.
Exactly.
And if you're a landlord, that emergency fund needs to be
it's very important.
A lot bigger than someone who doesn't have rental property. So, that comes all back to making sure that you're living within your means.
Exactly.
And you're prepared.
Exactly.
And it's about the money.
Yes.
Okay, so now we found it. Now we have this negotiation. What else happens?
So during negotiations, a lot of time what we think is that the seller has to give us closing costs. That is not always so. Or we go in with an expectation that we don't have to have any money down at all, or we're going to get this big check back at the closing table. We need to shop with our money. Be prepared. At least to have money, you have to have the money for your inspection, appraisal. You should expect to put an earnest money deposit down, also called an EMD, of at least 1% of the cost of the home.
Okay.
So on a $300,000 house, we're talking about at least $3,000.
Okay.
You want to make your contract that you're going to have your realtor submit be very attractive. If you do not need closing help, you don't have to ask for it.
Okay.
But that's a negotiation. That's a part of the negotiation of whether they can or they can't help you with that.
Okay.
But you should always expect to possibly come to the table with 3.5%.
And that's why it's important that the person that you're speaking with has the knowledge, has the background that can actually take you step by step.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's important to have a realtor that knows.
Yes.
And that has been in the industry for a minute, so that, these things that may not ordinarily come up, that person is going to kind of give you the information just in case.
Just in case.
To be prepared, because it's nothing worse than going to look for a home and you found one,
right,
and something happens that your realtor didn't kind of say, this may happen, I just want to bring it up to you,
yes,
just so that we're prepared.
Yes. And you're going to deal with that whether it's a new build or a resale.
Most definitely.
Things can happen. I have a house that's built from the ground up, and you think, oh, this builder, but I went in, you got nail pops, you got different things that are happening, and now the 1-year warranty is up, and you still have to deal with those things.
That's true.
So we do offer home warranty plans that cover the home from top to bottom.
Okay.
I always offer that to my buyer and to my seller.
Okay, very good.
And during the sale process, the seller can actually get that warranty program. They can transfer over to the new purchaser, to the buyer, and it be included in the negotiation process.
Okay.
So once we submit the contract, and we're now negotiating, we're at the table, and we decide that we want this house or not, the contract gets accepted. We need to be prepared within 5 to 7 days to do a home inspection.
Most definitely.
Some people are, oh, well, do I have to do this? You're talking about plumbing, electricity, things that just function,
mold, leaks,
anything.
Just
and you don't want to. So, for your protection, get a home inspection. Definitely a plus. I work with a great inspector. You have an option to use who you'd like to use. Also, your realtor also have a list of inspectors that you could use.
Exactly.
And this is really important, like I said, to get that home inspection, and then your lender would then come in with the appraisal.
Okay.
They will order the appraisal.
Okay.
However, in this process, when going back just a moment, in the pre-qualification program, and we're looking at the different things that they offer here in the state of Maryland, you have different Maryland mortgage programs.
Okay.
For those different programs, they can call me because there's a variety of them. We have programs for people with college debt called the Smart Buy program. Then we also have grants for Montgomery County, Prince George's County. On top of that, we have grant programs for servants, public servants. So that's something that can also help with the down payment and closing process.
Okay, great. So give them some information about you, how they can contact you real quick before we go to this next commercial. So
Absolutely.
they can contact you how?
Okay, you can call me at 202-709-7989. My website is www.chamaye, C-H-E-M like Mary, A-Y-E, Smith.com. Or you can write me at realtorchamaysmith@gmail.com. I look forward to helping you to the closing table.
Great. And if you need to have someone help you with money, whether it's now money, you want to grow it, retirement, college savings, whether it is moving your retirement, understanding that process, Casey Baker and Associates is here to help you as well. You can go to Karen@CaseyBakerandAssociates.com. You can go to www.CaseyBakerandAssociates.com, or you can call us at 1-866-586-9522. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go to commercial so that you can see Casey Baker and Associates, and we'll be back with you in a few minutes. Thanks. Hello, my name is Karen Baker, founder and owner of Casey Baker and Associates. Casey Baker and Associates focuses on promoting financial security through ensuring financial wellness. Our vision is to foster financial wellness by serving the community, teaching wealth-building strategies to all communities, and developing mentorship programs for the young individuals. Casey Baker and Associates takes an educational approach so that everyone in the community can understand the concepts that help to improve financial literacy. As a financial advisor with over 2 decades of experience, I plan to use my expertise to serve you and your financial wellness needs. I am an established author of business and financial articles. This includes writing articles for It's Your Business Quarterly magazine for over 10 years. I also served as the ambassador for the Prince George's County Chamber of Commerce for many years. I am a certified financial education instructor and business leader who is ready to work with you and the wealth-credentialed Casey Baker and Associates team to help you achieve your financial goals. Join us so we can help you, like we have helped thousands of others by connecting with us at www.CaseyBakerandAssociates.com. Thank you so much for coming back. Welcome here with my amazing guest, Chamaye Smith from C. Smith Properties, LLC, the realtor extraordinaire, the queen of 210. So we are talking about the first-time homeowners, the process.
Yes.
And you've given us this roadmap of what we need to do, the different programs that are available, if you would like to. It's not necessary.
Correct.
You've taken us through the seminars, the pre-qualification, then building your beautiful home from top to bottom, what you want in your home, the size of it, bedrooms, bathrooms, guest room, pool, whatever.
Whatever.
Okay? And then the search begins. Okay, and then from there, the negotiation starts.
Correct.
Okay, so we stopped before the commercial and negotiations. So take us from the negotiations.
So in the negotiation process, that's when we're going to submit a contract to the listing agent for them to review.
Okay.
When they review this, they're going to look at what we're offering as an EMD, earnest money deposit.
Okay.
They're going to look at your pre-qualification, pre-approval letter from your lender. and they're going to combine all of your portfolio to see whether your contract is going to be accepted.
Okay.
Some programs take longer than others, so you have to be mindful. Different banks take different amounts of time. I have seen lenders close. My lender is closed within 15 days, 15 business days.
Okay, that's good.
It's really good. You can also do cash purchases. If you do a cash purchase, you need to be able to show where those funds are coming from. You have to have proof of funds. You cannot come up with this wondrous money all of a sudden.
Okay.
All of a sudden, money hits your account within the last couple of days. They're going to ask, in that process, they're going to ask for a copy of bank statements to see exactly what's coming in and going out.
So you can get a gift, though.
So you can get a gift.
Okay.
That gift, they have to do a letter.
Right.
And all of that will be included to be sent over during this process and to your lender. So now we're sitting down and we're negotiating. The inspection report comes back. There may be repairs that need to take place. Just because there are repairs that need to take place, even on a new build or on a resale, does not make it a bad deal.
Right.
It could be something really minor.
Right.
So that takes us back to the seller's home warranty program or the buyer's warranty program, where they can then take and call in to have that repair done during the purchase process, and then you have a certified technician come in and they'll sign off on the work order.
Okay.
When the house, now we have all the work done, inspection is done, contract, everything, everybody's happy, it's getting time for closing time.
Well, let me tell you, that process right there, I can tell you when I was dealing with property in the family, and when it came time for the inspection and the negotiations and all of that, that can be a grueling pain in the butt type of time. But it has to be done.
It has to be done. Even if you have a representative there and we put you on camera, you want to know all of the mechanical things in regards to your house. It's not all the paint and furniture
it's
that we
more
see.
than that.
Yes.
It's much more than that. And in my case, it was the house had been built 120 or 30 years, and it was oil. And they thought that the oil can was still in the ground. And even though my dad had taken and had converted it from oil to gas, they were saying that they still needed to make sure that the tank wasn't under the ground. So that whole process of digging that tank up.
Yes.
But it had to be done.
It had to be done. And the same thing we deal with in the more rural areas where we have septic tanks. And to access those tanks, sometimes those things can take longer than that 5-day period, depending on the schedule of the contractor.
Very true.
So in those cases, we may have to do an extension to allow those inspections to be done. But do not let that deter you, because we want to have it done. We want to make sure that the septic works. We want to make sure that these are operating systems. And if you're doing USDA, a lot of things are required because it is a rural area.
Right.
So you want to make sure you don't let those things deter you. There is a lot of mechanics in this, but that's why we're here to help you.
Most definitely.
We're here to help you through the process. We're not just going to get you on this roadmap and drop you and say, oh, no, I'm not going to be here for you. No, we're going to be here for you the whole way through. And when we're going and we're doing these things, just block out some time. Let your employer know, maybe you can make up the time. It doesn't take that long, about 2 hours to do a home inspection. My guy, Chaz, he goes out earlier. He starts beforehand, so you don't have to be there when he's doing the roof and things. We don't expect you to go on the roof. Right. But we do want you to be there to walk through the home and be able to see what's happening with the air conditioning unit, the pipeline, where your water source is coming from. And so though the bumps that may come, it's okay.
We have to understand that, my mom used to say, nothing in life that's worth it is going to be easy, and that there is going to be ups and downs, and we have to be okay with it. And I'm telling you, anything dealing with home buying, whether you're building or whether you are purchasing, you can't control all of the dynamics that seem to happen, so you have to be okay with it.
Yes.
And so I'm like, this is like the 4th or the 5th house that I've built, that I'm in now,
Yeah.
and you just are going to go through some bumps, and it's okay, because at the end of it, it's going to be so worth it.
And you'll look back and you say, I made it through this.
I made it through this.
Like,
I don't know how, right?
You don't know how. I made it through it. You're in it.
Oh, my
and you may not want to do it anymore, but you'll end up maybe wanting something bigger later. But the point is to get into something that you like, you love, and that you can call home.
Most definitely.
And also, Casey, a lot of times people think about this when it comes to a resale or a new build, right? You still need a realtor.
Yeah.
That person that's sitting at that gorgeous new home center, they represent the sellers. That's the seller's agent. You want to have your buyer's agent with you when you go to represent you. You wouldn't go into court
Without your attorney. I mean, you could.
So don't go in to buy a home without your real estate agent. So that is, it's so important. And a lot of times people think they're saving money.
Right.
And then they end up in this contract that they didn't understand, and they signed for all these different things, and they went in and they saw all the bells and whistles, and they're not getting that. And what do? They come back and they look for a real estate agent after the fact. Can you look over my paperwork? Can you look over my loan paperwork? I don't know what's happening here. So you want to have a buyer's agent with you when you go to purchase that home.
Most definitely. So take note. I know that if you're not well versed in the area, go to the expert that can help you and guide you through the way. And it'll be more costly later if you don't. I mean, that's not just with real estate. That's with everything. I mean, you want to make sure that you're going with someone who has your best interest at heart.
Yes.
That has to be done in these transactions, and making sure that these contracts, I mean, the average person doesn't know what they're reading. They don't know what that stuff means.
It just looks like a pile of papers and they're just signing.
Right.
And I've seen, recently I've had a client that was 80 years old. She lost her husband. And there was just paperwork that she did not know about. She had a stack this thick, and there was no one there to help her. And she found herself losing her home and had to relocate.
Wow.
Life insurance policies were not there.
Wow.
They were military, and they thought that everything would be covered through the military benefits, and they were not.
About that, yes, but that's another show. Military. That's another show. But go ahead.
And I can only imagine what it feels like now to, one, lose a spouse, two, now to have to look for housing, and guess what? Your income is only $900 a month.
So you don't qualify.
You do not qualify. And on top of that, the rent is above that. You got to now try and get into some type of housing program or rental program that will go according to your income. And it's a big life change. It's a big life event.
Yes. So we want to make sure that everybody understands that, I know people are trying to save money and people are trying to pinch here and there, but you don't want to do yourself a disservice.
Yes.
And end up paying for it later.
Yes.
So after negotiation, what happens?
Now we're headed to the closing table. You're talking, all your due diligence has been done. You've met all your lender requirements. You've met all the requirements of the contract between your buyer's agent and the listing agent. And now it's time for us to go to closing.
Okay.
So
we're excited.
But it's not over yet.
Okay.
Because there may be last minute documents that may be needed. This is a part of the due diligence. Just get it into them. However, keep communication lines open.
Most definitely.
Leave us a message, send us a text, anything. I'm up till 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes, right? But stay on track. Stay on track. Send the information in that's needed. 3 days prior, you should be getting what they call a CD, closing documents. Those documents are for you to look over. Look over them with your lender, your agent, to make sure you understand the numbers and your bottom line, what you need to come to the table with, whether you'll be getting a refund at the table, or maybe even It could be something small, like you don't see that your home warranty was in there. This is the time that you look over those documents, those closing documents, and see if you agree with everything that you see there. If something's not there, bring it up.
Most definitely. Don't wait.
You have 3 days to review this. During those 3 days, comb through it. Meet with me. Meet with your lender. Let's get it done so we can get you in your home and you don't have any last minute uh-ohs. You want to make sure there's no homeowner association, or if there is, what are the fees? When are they due? Waterfront footage fee in the county. That's the fee to bring the water lines out to the public line. You want to make sure how much time do you have left on that. If you have a homeowners association or a condo association, you want to make sure you have all of those documents before you close.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so before we go to our next break showing Chamaye's amazing commercial, Chamaye, again, let our viewers know how they can get in contact with you, all of the information that they need to get in contact with you.
Okay. I am Chamaye Smith. I have offices located at the National Harbor, Waldorf. I work out of the Bowie office also. I am a licensed realtor with Sampson Properties. Our main hub is in Chantilly, Virginia, but we have offices all along Maryland, D.C., and Virginia to assist you. You can reach me at 202-709-7989. My website is www.chamayesmith.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Okay, great. So we're going to see her commercial once again, and we'll be right back.
My job as the Queen of 210 is to establish the lay of the land and to help the client find their new throne. I have established my kingdom, including my office and home, here at the National Harbor. 210 is strategically structured for ways to D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, just minutes from local dining and shopping. There's plenty of space for business, agriculture, waterfront living, and large acre lots. If you would like to establish your home here within this area, this is my domain and my proven 4-step plan to sell your home or to negotiate an offer for your purchase.
Welcome back with Let's Talk Money with KC, here with my amazing guest, Chamaye Smith, the Queen of 210. She is Miss Realtor Extraordinaire. She's going over the first-time home buying process. And I know that this process can be kind of grueling, so I wanted to be able to bring on an expert that would be able to help you through this process. So she's taken us again through this roadmap, and we're at the negotiations, the end of negotiations and due diligence. So at this point now, we have given all the documents in, and we're going to make sure we have 3 days so we can make sure that if anything else may come up, we got to get these documents in. What are some of the things that you have found at this point, at this stage in the game of buying the home? What are some of the things that may arise or may come up, just to kind of get them used to that the process may be a little bit bumpy,
right,
but it's okay because they have you to walk them through it. Right. So what are some of those other things that may come up? Sometimes
we find close towards the end that there's more money that needs to come up.
Okay.
The homeowners associations are sometimes asking for more than 1 month secured homeowner association dues. Okay. So that can increase what's on the CD, the closing documents.
Okay.
So there may be some adjusting that needs to take place. Sometimes people don't always have the money for those adjustments, right?
Now let me ask you this. Do you find that in the Prince George's County, the Charles County area, that there are a lot of homeowners associations in the communities?
There are, but you still have communities that either they have grandfathered, where a portion of the community may be new,
Okay.
and the other portion of the community may not be under a homeowners association.
Okay.
The same thing with condo associations. A lot of times people want to get condos, and that's a whole nother show in itself. We have to talk about condos because people want condos, but if you are not in a condo association where they're not delinquent, then you're fine. But if it's a delinquent condo association, you're talking about coming up with 10 to 20% down based on your lender and lender requirements.
Oh my goodness.
And requiring of a conventional loan. Some condos, however, are FHA approved. It's just a matter of what you find. But those are things that you need to go over with your realtor. And when we're at before the closing table, we want to look over those documents and see what's there. Are there any adjustments that need to be made? And sometimes it may call for you negotiating with your actual realtor and settlement company with settlement fees and things like that. Some things are absolutely not negotiable,
like
condo association fees.
Okay.
Condo fees, HOA fees, those are the fees.
Okay.
And to be a part of those associations, that information is put on the closing document to let them know how much they have to pay. I think they're now asking for about 2 months in advance in some cases.
Okay.
And depending on what that fee is, that could knock people over.
Yeah, it could. Most definitely.
So if that becomes an issue, because I have seen it happen, and you don't know that until those documents come in from the homeowner association, you're all at the table, you have your check here, and you have to come up with some extra money. So sometimes adjustments will have to be made on the last day. It's okay.
Take a deep breath.
Yep, take a deep breath. We're going to get you closed. You're going to move in your house. You're going to get your keys.
That's
and,
right.
And that's what we're here for. But before we close on anything, we're going to go back to the property and we're going to do a final walkthrough.
Okay.
Some people do final walkthroughs the day of. I like to at least go within that 3-day period, if at all possible, if the other family has moved out or the property is empty, just because we want to make sure that we're getting what we're getting right. We don't want to get there and the house is gone.
Last day.
Oh, yeah. The grass is gone. Right. I don't know what that movie was, but we don't want to get there and the door is not there.
Oh,
anything that was affixed and listed on your purchase agreement, on your inclusion exclusion sheet, those same items should be there on closing day. So we don't want to get there and find a tiny house and there was a big house.
That's true. You just don't know.
You just don't know.
You don't know, so you want to be prepared.
Right, exactly. So we would schedule that walkthrough. So that's another day that you need to put on your calendar. When we would do the walkthrough, it can be done at any time.
Okay.
And we just want to walk through the house and make sure the house is the house you purchased, the things are there, and that you're satisfied. Once we do that walkthrough, we sign off on everything, we're going to the closing table.
Okay.
We're going to the closing table.
Okay.
And that's an exciting day.
Yes, it is.
It's like you're expecting the baby, right?
Yes, and the baby's finally here.
The baby's finally here. And so we're going to do that walkthrough. Now we're going to go to closing, and you're going to get the keys to your new place. You're going to get those keys, and you will definitely see that you did all of this work on the field, but now you're home. You made it home, and you can move your things in, and you can relax.
That is the American dream.
It is.
It really is.
And even if you go through a bankruptcy, anything like that, hey, I'm your real realtor. I'm going to tell you, I went through a bankruptcy. I filed a Chapter 7. There's life after a Chapter 7.
Definitely.
There are so many things that are out there. Just do the work. Do the work. You'll find it is so worth it to be able to walk into something. You don't have to fight over parking. You don't have to worry about people over top your head. You don't have to worry about waiting for maintenance to come.
Right?
It's so real.
Or not to
come.
That is great. So if you were to tell our viewers one thing about this process, other than contact you when you're ready, other than contact you, what would you say to get them to understand that, it does kind of sound a little grueling, it's a long, tedious process, but what words of encouragement would you say?
They have that saying, anything you do 21 days or more becomes habit. We could get through this in about 30 to 45 days.
Okay.
30 to 45 days we could get through this. But you have to be ready. You have to change your mindset. You have to be willing, and you have to be ready. And when you come to work, you hire me to work for you, I'm ready to work. And so when you say, let's go out, you have to set a real expectation because this is a business. So we have to schedule those things.
Right.
We can't just find something and go out.
Right.
We need to schedule. Sometimes the listings require 24-hour notice.
Okay.
So it's not that your realtor doesn't want to show you the place, but these things take time and they have other clients.
Right.
So while we would love to be able to give you front and center attention 24/7, we have to also work with other clients as well, but we are there for you.
Right.
We are really there for you and working hard for you and doing this process. Again, like I said, once you go through it, you started, I would just say start now. You're listening to the show. Start getting your tax paperwork together now. Start even with your job, they may offer home buyer benefits for you. Start looking into the benefits that are available for you through your bank, through your government workers have, I think, the TSP programs, 401ks. See what's there for you to help you on your road to home ownership. See how we can combine that. When you sit down and talk with me, we'll talk about all of those things, get you in touch with a lender that can help you, and build the roadmap that's specifically geared for you and your family.
Most definitely. And don't be afraid to, now this is just me, whenever I dealt with any real estate property, don't feel like you are bugging your realtor. I bugged and you know what, honestly, I didn't even care that I did, because I knew, it was just like, if a client comes to me, they don't care what you got to do to get them in the right path. That's our job.
Yes.
So if something comes up and you're not sure, make a phone call, send an email, send a text. So that even if she is on an appointment, everybody carries around their phone. You're not going to be without your phone. That's how we communicate. So don't feel as if you are bugging her.
You've hired me.
Thank you.
You've hired me, and I'm here to do a job, and I'm setting an expectation, and I want to exceed that expectation for you. And that's just good customer service. It's good people service. It's good relationship management.
It is.
And so it's very important. If you do not feel comfortable with your realtor, you should, you should interview your realtor first. And not that things can't change during that process.
Very true.
Not that a realtor can't have an emergency, but there should be a backup plan. And those backup plans help. It's not stress-free, but it's going to make it as smooth as possible, as much as we can.
Most definitely.
And I find that a lot of us, the realtors, we work together to make this process work. We really do, because we're a family too.
Well, you have to be. I mean, you end up building relationships with your clients. Because you are digging deep into their lives, their financial lives, their jobs, how much money they have, how much debt they have, and at the end of the day, they want to feel comfortable.
They want to feel comfortable, and your personal information is not public information. So a lot of times people are like, oh, well, I don't want them to run my credit just yet. Well, we can't look and see what you qualify for
without
if we don't run your credit.
Right.
And, it's not a secret job. It's information that we need. And in order to take you out to see that property, we have to see what the numbers look like. It's no need in me taking you to see an $800,000 house and you qualify for a $300,000 house. Or I'm taking you to see a $300,000 house, and you want to buy my old house.
Right. Got a plan.
So you got a plan. And when we go out and we set the criteria of what we want on our checklist, we have to be
You have to
ready
follow
and
through.
follow
You have to follow
through.
through. You have to follow through. So, I am just so happy that you came on my show
thank
today.
you. Thanks for inviting me.
I'm so excited. I want you to give our viewers your information again.
Okay.
So that everyone really, at this point, that's your tax shelter. Everybody needs it. You're tired of paying Uncle Sam extra money? Get property. Okay? That is something that is your right. And when you have someone like Chamaye on your side, there is nothing that could possibly go wrong. And if it does, she's got it. So, Chamaye, give all your information.
So again, I'm Chamaye Smith, and I have offices at the National Harbor, Waldorf, and Bowie, available to serve you. I work with Sampson Properties. You can reach me at 202-709-7989, and my website is www.chamaye, that's CHEM like Mary, AYE Smith.com. You can also email me at realtorchamayesmith@gmail. I look forward to working with you.
Great. And I am Karen Casey here with you. We will see you next week, same time, same bat station.
And at the
Thank you so much.